The biggest takeaway that I've had from this event is it's not for us, it's for the chief selects. We are showing up and we are supporting them, mentoring them.
Produced by Podcast Architects.
You're listening to the Lead On podcast, where we discuss experiences in the armed forces while exploring lessons from military leaders.
Welcome to another edition of Lead On, Lessons from Military Leaders. I'm David Dearie with the Enlisted Leadership Foundation. And today, you're in for a treat. This is going to be a special podcast. And joining me today is Chief Petty Officer Mandi Bailey. Mandi is currently assisting the Enlisted Leadership Foundation out as one of our volunteers to run the upcoming 20th annual Chief Petty Officer Pride Day event. Mandi, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hi, David. I'm outstanding. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Thanks for taking some time to join me in studio just to share about our upcoming Chief Petty Officer Pride Day event. So, give us a little background. How did you get involved with the Enlisted Leadership Foundation and CPO Pride Day?
I got involved a couple years ago. I had a friend and mentor, Sharon Gutierrez, excuse me, I don't know why I just said her name wrong, Cheryl Gutierrez, who volunteered in logistics. And she was like, come on, sister, you're coming along with me. And I had been deployed the past couple years and hadn't had the opportunity to hear about Pride Day or even attend Pride Day as a chief select. So that was my first view 2 years ago on the competition team.
Okay, so Chief Petty Officer Pride Day. This is an event that takes place annually in San Diego, started in 2004. And as I mentioned, this is our 20th year. The Enlisted Leadership Foundation, we're what you would call a pass-through nonprofit business. So there's your typical nonprofit 501c3s. So nonprofit doesn't mean no profit. And many times nonprofits they do raise money. They raise money for specific programs as well as to pay for administrative cost, overhead, and employee costs. The Enlisted Leadership Foundation, we do raise money, but no one on our board of directors, and we don't employ anyone. Everybody who works for the Enlisted Leadership Foundation is a volunteer, like me and like you. So, and I just want to make sure folks realize that when it comes to Chief Petty Officer Pride Day event, for example, there's a registration fee that takes place to help offset the cost because it's an expensive event, and then our goal is to make $0. Our goal is to break even. And if at the end of the day there's some surplus, every penny of it goes right back into the business, and it actually helps offset the cost for both our E5 program first, our Echo 5 class, and then if there's still some funds, then we move that up to the Foundry class. So when it comes to Chief Petty Officer Pride Day, so what is your role this year volunteering?
This year, I am the active duty lead for the whole team of active duty folks. It's a huge honor. I got to be a supporting role starting out 2 years ago, and then I was a lead of the competition team. And now I get to wrangle everyone, which is wonderful, but it's a lot of work.
So how many volunteers do you have working with you right now, and will that increase a little bit when we get closer to the day?
Approximately 60. I think right now we're set with volunteers. As we get closer to CPO Pride Day and day of, all of the volunteers from the different teams will come together and help support day of activities.
So 60, and these are all chiefs, senior chief, master chiefs volunteering for the event.
And retirees.
That's right, and yeah. Retirees, thank you. And I purposely haven't mentioned the date because I want people to at least continue listening. So, but it's going to be on September 20th, and we relocated during the pandemic. We for the first many years we did it on board the USS Midway Museum, and then the pandemic hit, and we did a virtual Pride Day, and we also took that time because we outgrew Midway, to be honest. And now we've transitioned over to Coronado. We do it at Silver Strand State Beach, which is right across from Lowe's Resort. So it's a great venue. Um, so you have 60 volunteers. I know we're planning on anywhere between 2,800 and 3,000 chiefs and chief selectees. And we have registration is currently underway. So if you're a Navy chief, senior chief, master chief, or retired, one of those, and we get people not just from Southern California, but throughout California. There's we get Utah, Arizona, Nevada, so it's great. We've even had Texas come this way. So why would why tell us something that goes on at Pride Day, and who's it for, and why would you encourage people to attend, to pay the $89 and come out for the day?
David, it's one thing to hear about the Chief Petty Officer Network being able to reach out to anyone across the world. And it's another thing to see 2,000 of them, 2,000 plus, come together in one area to support our reliefs, our new chiefs. The biggest takeaway that I've had from this event is it's not for us, it's for the chief selects. And in investing in this time and a small ticket fee, we are showing up and we are supporting them, mentoring them, providing. For some folks, it's a chance to have a reunion. It's pretty neat to see some of my previous coworkers throughout my career show up as chief selects, and they're like, "Wow, I didn't think I'd ever see you again." So that's something that's really special to me. And of course, there's a lot of laughs to be had. The competition, I've always had a really great seat planning that in the front, but just seeing the amount of effort that these chief selects put in, and then to see our brothers and sisters, warmly embrace them that day, a week before pinning, it's pretty significant.
It is exciting. I've gone through so many. Um, if you're listening to this and and I know that there's a lot of demand on our time during the initiation season, just at the local level, not to mention uh, the staff, the Desrons, the the Fibrons, the Force Master Chief of Fleet Master Chiefs. But I certainly hope that at least in San Diego, we've invited the Surface Force, Air Force, Third Fleet Master Chiefs to come out, and many others. So, man, I think it'd be great if they come out, and that way they can see what their messes are doing and the engagement that does take place. And and I'll tell you, I walk around, me and the rest of the board of directors, we participate in the opening ceremony, say a few words and stuff, but our greatest joy, honestly, is because you guys do such a great job. It relinquishes that stress on us and allows us the freedom to just walk around, observe, and talk to the guests. And so many of the chief selectees and the chiefs have such great things to say. And what's even better is what you alluded to is, for a chief selectee to go through it, and we see this during the whole initiation season, how a year later things come full circle. So when they when they come in as a chief selectee, and they participate in some of those competitions, but then they come back the following year or whenever they can, and they see it differently, as the chief. And it's a really exciting moment. And that's how it stays alive. That's when Karen O'Connor started this in 2004. I don't know if that was her vision, uh, but it's that, wash, rinse, repeat coming through. And CPO Pride Day has expanded. Ours is more formalized because it's under the Enlisted Leadership Foundation. And I did that intentionally because it was being run. Not many people know this, but when I was the Region Command Master Chief, CPO Pride Day was being run out of my office. And all the money was coming in and out of my CPOA, just checks and in cash. And there was honestly not the accountability. If if we didn't pay a bill, who's responsible? It's kind of like the Navy is. This was a grassroots program. So, when I started the Foundry class, and decided that I think this should be underneath a bigger structure. So, started the nonprofit business. So by bringing an event like CPO Pride Day underneath the Enlisted Leadership Foundation, that's got the insurance, got the protection, that has the accountability of the funds, that's any nonprofit, anybody could request the financials, and many times they're on the website, ours included. And you know, and that gives it that much more strength as well, because when it's run out of as a grassroots, you can't fundraise, you can't ask for donations, we can't do that in uniform. But as a business, we can do that, and then gives you guys an opportunity to volunteer for us, and then you get a letter at the end of the season, and if you don't have your MOVSM, you can use that to help get your MOVSM. So there's always about 700 selectees and the rest are genuine chief petty officers. Do you expect us to sell out?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I think especially every year our participation has just grown. And with this being the 20th anniversary, I think folks are going to really show out. One thing I'd like to share, you reminded me as you were just talking about all the different things that Pride Day contributes to, such as the Foundry and Echo 5. One of my favorite questions that gets asked during Pride Day is to the selectees, raise your hand if you attended this. Or you know about this program. And seeing that sea of hands, and they're all excited, oh, they asked me a question and I know this. And then you say, look around you. That's for us, by us. We contribute to that. And I think that's really coming full circle in such a beautiful way. And then having the selects last year come forward this year and say, am I allowed to volunteer? I had such an incredible time. Of course, you're welcome. So we have quite a few first years, which is pretty amazing.
And it is humbling to look across the sea of hands, to see what was started as just an idea by Karen 20 years ago, and then with the leadership classes a dozen years ago, and then see where we are today. And things change. Things grow in times. So CPO Pride Day changed as well, and some things we do differently, and some things we try to keep intact, although we do it differently now, but the intent still remains fast. So we will sell out, and we usually sell out, and this is public service announcement, we usually sell out in our sizes before we sell out in our numbers. When you have to order 3,000 t-shirts, these aren't just created as they're ordered. So we have to look at the past and order specific quantities from small up to double extra large. So there's a limited number, and when they're out, they're out. So if you're a medium and large, especially, and you want to hang out and wait, then you run the risk of running out. And when it comes to the selectees, you can't buy those right now. Those will go on sale after the results come out. And so if you click on that, it's not there. The other thing I want to say is what we've encountered sometimes is there's some chiefs messes. They want to come as a clan, come as a mess, or not come as a mess. And that's fine. Just if you're coming as a mess, again, and I've had several messes contact us, I can give you a video how to order everything at one time. And if you're choosing not to come, that's on you. That's fine, because that just makes sure that those that want to come can come. But if you're not going to come, I'd love to hear why. Love to get the feedback on, if you're unsure about something. I had somebody last year call us, and they weren't going to come, and I shared with them much of what I shared moments ago about who we are, why we started, so on and so forth, and they changed their mind. So I'd love to have you. So please check us out. If you want to get a real quick look, you can go to enlistedleadershipfoundation.org, go to the CPO Pride Day page, and there's a 60-second video of last year. I had my tech guy put together that video. And so that's all stuff from last year. So it'll give you that visual representation of what almost 3,000 chiefs and selectees looks like. So Mandi, what would you say to your brothers and sisters, active and retired, to encourage them to come out this year?
Well, if you're in the SoCal area, or even NorCal and some of the other states you mentioned, and you want to show up and support, We'd be happy to have you. If you're on the fence, I encourage you, come volunteer with us. See it from the other side. But I would just ask that folks take to heart this message. This event is not for you. It is not for me. It is for the Chief Selects. It is our legacy that we get to leave and pass on, and hope that those 800 every year will, come back and take our place so that we can retire. And then think about the events that take place that day, the interactions, the mentorship that takes place. It was pretty special to see some of the Master Chiefs that put me through season, see me leading some of the events in Pride Day, and it was wonderful to see them again. But if you have questions, ask. Yourself have made yourself available. Miss Diane, also myself, I'm happy to talk. If you have concerns, don't sit there and just be negative without knowing the answer. At least, give us the courtesy, reach out. I'd love to talk to you and hopefully change your mind. If you're set in stone, that's one thing, like you said, you do you. But at the end of the day, I think we're stronger together and showing up. And if there's something that you want to change or you want to see improve, be a part of that change.
And well said, Mandi. And I don't think there's anything to add. So thank you for volunteering, for leading the 60s, other that are making CPO Pride Day take place. September 20th, Silver Strand State Beach. Registration is open and will remain open until we're sold out. And selectee registration, again, will start once the selectee results come out. And if you want to participate in the competitions, you can sign up for that. That's all listed on the website as well. I'm David Dearie with the Enlisted Leadership Foundation. This has been a special edition of Lead On Lessons from Military Leader about CPO Pride Day. And I look forward to seeing you at CPO Pride Day on September 20th.
Produced by Podcast Architects.